boy Nixie coming back with another bullseye of a tutorial here today on the channel. So we're gonna have the Travis Scott vocal preset today. So if you guys do like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Drop more suggestions for artists down below and check the description if you want the template tutorial. Okay, the template. All right, so let's get to it right now. Let's go.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing OZONE, trying to be different, trying to be a newer woman. This shit look iffy, need a little dicky, need to move some. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing OZONE, trying to be different, trying to be a newer woman. This shit look iffy, need a little dicky, need to move some.
Okay, so let's get to it right away. That's me trying to do my best impression of Travis Scott. We nailed the ad-libs, 100% bullseye. So let's break down that Travis Scott sound. So Travis Scott is a guy who, he's actually one of those really dope, rappers that actually he knows how to engineer himself. A lot of people, talk about that, like Baines, Tizio, a lot of big engineers, they always say, man, out of all the rappers, who's actually good at like the production and the mixing side is Travis Scott. So, that's dope. He likes to get his little ear candy effects and stuff like that in there. So this is what this is kind of about. Try to get that modern Travis Scott, larger than life, Don Toliver 2 kind of sound, all right? I'm gonna do a Don Toliver preset that's coming soon, but let's listen to it with and without.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing OZONE, trying to be different, trying to be a newer woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing OZONE, trying to be different, trying to be a newer woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something.
All right, so I noticed with Travis Scott's vocal on Backrooms specifically, I picked Backrooms, this song specifically, because this is like a song where he actually was rapping. Like a lot of his other songs are usually like harmonizing, like these big, huge, cavernous type of songs. His songs are like ethereal, is the perfect word to describe it. But specifically on Backrooms, he was just straight up rapping with his real voice. His voice kind of has like this scraggly, ruffled up shirt, ruffled up collar, like a shirt that needs to be ironed type of texture. Scraggly is what I would describe it as, crumpled up type of vocal. So that's coming down to something like the auto tune, a low humanized and a good amount of flex tune. It's starting to get that his vocal to click and pop a little bit, so it kind of ruffles the feathers a little bit on the bird.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing OZONE, trying to be different, trying to be a newer woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something.
And so you hear a lot of like his vocals really scraggly, really scratchy, like a cat or a feline scratching on a cat post, scratching and scratching and scratching. You feel me? So we want to maintain that supermarket grocery plastic bag quality without having it be harsh, right? So when I think of something like that type of texture straggly, I'm thinking about transistors. You feel me? This is why it's very important to understand your components, like a transistor type of high end. So that's why I picked the SSLE channel strip and I did the red knob boost, right? And we're also bringing in a little bit of the compression circuit too. That compression circuit is definitely helping Travis, that VCA, giving a little bit of snap, you feel me, giving a little bit of that higher mid, solidity to his vocals specifically.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing OZONE, trying to be different, trying to be a newer woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing OZONE, trying to be different, trying to be a new.
So that's the thing about making music too. It's not only exclusive to the sound, because you see when I play it behind Travis Scott's vocal, you hear like there's a texture behind his vocal too, a nice little bit of scratchy, itchy, scratchy type of texture to his vocal. So we're also trying to emulate that with their preset. We nailed it with that. After that, we're using the de-esser. I love to like red knob. I like to angle my high end into the de-esser, right? Usually I'll have like the de-esser set a little bit lower than the crossover for the high end, type of situation. It kind of just separates the high end from the rest of the vocal with that high shelf. So after that, we had something like the C4 and we're using back-to-back like this is kind of like another de-esser. This is a high frequency limiter, and most importantly thing too is because the high end is so scraggly, like a like a paper bag at the grocery store. That bitch is moving all around in the wind. It's swirling on around. When you got a trash bag, the wind picks it up and it starts moving all over the place. You feel me? That's kind of like the high end too. The high end is fluttering a lot. You feel me? That's just the way his voice kind of works. It's really itchy and scratchy. And sometimes Travis Scott, he might put distortion on his voice. That's why distortion might work very well on his voice, similar to a guitar. A guitar has a lot of forward mid-range presence, so that's why people distort their guitars to it. Kind of adds more of a tonal quality and a texture to the top of the vocal, right? So paying attention to that shit like that, I'm like, oh shit, I need to make that fat jit at the back end, the butt, it gotta sit in the seat. That's the low end of the vocal. So I slowed down the release time a little bit. I changed it from, it usually starts on ARC, but I changed it to manual. And yeah, for the most part, we kind of got that going on right now. We're just holding that low end so we could really focus to the top. And this is serving like a backup security guard. This is serving kind of like the second layer of clothes under. Like sometimes when it's cold, you fucking put a jacket, you put another shirt on top of your jacket or whatever. So this is the high frequency limiter. The de-esser is catching the first bits of the sibilance and everything, and the limiter is doing the same thing. But with the limiter, it's a little bit better because you can control the attack and release though. You feel me? So you can control how grabby it is. You feel me?
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing.
So as you can see right there, definitely it helps us get a little separation between the jeans and the shirt. You feel me? Now you can really hear the bottom because the release time is slower. The bottom end is focused a little bit more and the high end is moving. So let's look at this next thing we have is the SSL bus compressor here. And I use this specifically because it has like a hard knee. So like as I say, that hard knee, like that transition and the hard knee in that ratio of 4:1, it's just making it a situation where we're kind of like hardening the vocal through the compression. Like, you know what I mean? A situation like you see a chef like Gordon Ramsay, before he gets to whipping up that steak and shit like that, he'll take the knife and put it on a cutting board, and as it's going along, that cutting board is sharpening his knife. So that's what I'm doing. I'm taking the vocal, right, which is my knife, and putting it up against the compressor, right, which the compressor has a part where it starts off at, right, and it's sharpening the vocal type shit.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something.
And just knowing that these plugins are related to the SSLG and the SSLE, they're like brothers, you feel me? The big brother and little bro, you feel me? So that kind of in itself is already starting to glue the vocal together because we're consistently picking these plugins that got a similar tonal quality, right? And after that, we use the CLA vocals. I know Alex Toomey, he mixed Days Before Rodeo type shit. So this is a part of Travis Scott's signature sound too. And with this compress, I think this part is a parallel compression. I'm pretty sure. I heard Jason Joshua say something like that. But yeah, I'm mostly just using the high and the low, doing just like a little bit of EQ, bass treble type of situation, a little bit of a parallel compression, give it a little solidity.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking.
And then we're insinuating that high end even more by using the fresh air. And I love using that mid-range bite to get that plasticky texture that I'm talking about with Travis Scott. Is you can definitely hear in his vocal that texture we're going for specifically, not necessarily the brightness. Because if we were only going for the brightness, we could just crank up the red knob. I would never recommend that. Or we could just pick like, whatever other plugin to get the brightness. But, different types of plugins, when you boosting up the high end or even the low end, they have different shapes to them and everything like that. So that's why I picked Fresh Air to get that digital brightness. Like his vocal literally kind of has like digital kind of artifacts in it. So let's listen to it.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Ozempic, trying to be different.
So when you hear his vocal, like you literally definitely hear that plastic trash bag, garbage bag. Okay, it's time to, hit the recycling bin type of feeling. Like that's what I'm trying to tell you. Making music is not just about the sound; it's also about the texture, the feeling behind it. That kind of emotionally triggers you too. So after that, we have an RVox. And I'm using the RVox a little bit just to squeeze the vocal. I like how it gives a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of, kind of like a nice presence, a nice fullness. And we're trying to tonally balance that vocal because we already kind of got so much high end moving around, so active. Now we're trying to balance the seesaw back, you feel me? So yeah, that's a situation. It's like sometimes people who take pictures too, they do stuff like color balancing a photo. Like they might take a picture on a bright ass day and they're like, damn, this shit is too bright. Okay, we need to dim it down in certain areas, but still keep the brightness to make the picture look balanced so you can really see it. So rather than see it, like hear it with your ears. So that's what you gotta do as an engineer too, like tonal balancing.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like
Okay, and it's kind of bringing out that King Kong type of chest inside of the vocals. After that, we have a de-esser, nothing crazy, doing like 2 or 3 dBs. Then we have a REQ that's putting in a little work on that REQ. You feel me? Like focusing the high end with that super super high cut. And this is kind of just like tonally balancing the vocal, rolling off a little bit of that low mid. You feel me? And that's bringing out more of the character over here. You see, so like it's like a seesaw. Like when you cut out this lower mid, it makes the higher end come up. So that's what I'm looking for out of this move.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little thick, you need.
So balancing everything out. So by me cutting out that little that little bass resonance, that little clogged up type of drain frequency over here, it kind of makes the top end pop out a little bit more. But then to like even balance that out more, I kind of cut a little bit more inside of the mid range, right? Because now the higher end, the plasticky stuff has come out a little bit more. So then I do this cut right here.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing.
Makes the vocal a little bit more bearable. And then after that, we use the Wave Silk vocal. I love using this plugin. And the most important thing with the Wave Silk vocal is trying to control that mid range and that high end, right? So we're doing a little bit of a kind of like a dynamic control, like a safeguard, you feel me, security guard, roadblock, you feel me, construction is being done right here. Don't go past this road, don't go past this street type of situation for the frequencies in the vocal.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing Ozempic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy.
All right, so after that, let's go over all the effects real quick. We got this quarter note from CLA Vocals. Everybody and their mother knows what CLA Vocals do. Because everybody likes talking about CLA Vocals, that in itself makes me never use it in any of my presets. But yeah, most importantly, using that delay, then we did like a low shelf resonant bump. So this is like a different move that I like to do like on my reverb and my delay, like when I want to hear like a little bit more of the articulation. Like I want to blend down the volume. I want the delay to be as low as it is so you can mostly feel it, right? So I'm trying to get it down to the lowest level I can, but then when I do this like little phase bump, this little bump right here, it kind of just makes you still hear it a little bit, for certain parts, you know what I mean? And certain words have a little bit more high end energy than others. So those words that I want to cut through, I want them to cut through on the delay. So after that, we have a situation where I was using the SSLE here just for a super top end boost, going into the reverb, trying to create a Tory Lanez styled reverb. So yeah, that's what I was going for.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing.
And that reverb plays into the strengths of the plastic bag high end, that we got going on with the vocal, because now, now that now all that sibilance is being reverberated at a very low level. So it kind of like plays into the strengths even more. It's like a situation where you already got a hot dog, now you putting some ketchup on it. You feel me? The ketchup is not the main thing that you're gonna eat, but the ketchup is gonna bring out more of the flavor of the hot dog. So that's what the reverb is trying to do. And then we have a doubler stomp. I love using doubler stomp. And we got an SSLE on the parallel compressor for vocal presence.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Zampic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little dick, you need to move some. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Zampic, trying to be different, trying to be.
All right, and then after that, let's look at the ad libs real fast. What we got going on here with the ad libs? So our ad libs, it was so easy to get the Travis Scott ad libs. I mean, there's so many ways to approach it, but just pretty much rolling off a little bit of top and bottom. I kind of had my high end be extended. Usually, like when you're filtering, if you start go past like the 4, 5, 3K, you might lose articulation. So I kind of had like an extended high end, right? And then I did a little bit of gating. I love doing the gating. It makes the ad libs feel so sudden. And then we had the SSLE putting in that little bit of work again, kind of tonally gluing, using the same channel strip on the ad libs, and the lead vocal is tonally gluing everything. And we understand we getting a little bit of that transistor high end again with that red knob. You feel me? Like the high end on plugins are all different. You feel me? Like a 1073 has a different high end from an SSLE because it kind of has different components to it. Well, they need 1073. You feel me? SSLE or SSLG. You feel me? They got their own flavor. One is mustard, another one is mayonnaise, another one is horseradish. You feel me? They all got their own flavor, these plugins. So it's important to understand the flavor of the plugins, and then you know when to apply it to what dish, which is your vocal. So then after that, we got the CLA vocals again, yanking down all that low end on the vocal, pushing a little bit of the reverb. You feel me? The reverb, the delay, mostly using it for its effects, and the effects on the ad libs are a little bit different from the lead vocal, so they're giving a little bit of separation.
I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Zampic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little dick, you need to move something. I'm feeling like Joe or something, like Terror Squad, we blowing something. She popping them 30s, thinking they working, but they ain't doing nothing. She doing no Zampic, trying to be different, trying to be a new woman. This shit look iffy, need a little dick.
Okay, so that's pretty much the end of the video here today. If you guys did like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And also, if you want to buy the preset, go ahead and check it down below in the description so you can go get it. So I just want to say, keep suggesting more artists. Appreciate you now, my YouTube gang. Peace.